Yes, brothers and sisters, I want to say praise the Lord again. And again, want to thank you for having listened to my videos and got to grasp the information that is there. Let me hope you enjoy what I am, inserting there. I am very happy to hear from you and your request when you said, please give us an outline about God and wealth. Yes, I will do so, and I've come to explain that. First of all, who gives out wealth? Who is the owner of wealth? Wealth belongs to God and is the one who has the sole authority of giving out wealth to anyone he wishes to give. So, the reference is Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 1. That's where God authorizes or tells you that He is the authority of giving out wealth. He told us that when He gives you wealth, but after very hard work, that is of being tempted, being tested here and there, then when you suit to be given wealth, because of course everyone has her own chance from God. Some were given chances to become rich, some were not given. So in this case, when God decides to give you wealth, then you have to be cautious that this wealth you have acquired has not come out of your wisdom or from your understanding. No, but it is God who gives out authority to anyone who becomes rich. Then on the other hand, Satan also gives out wealth. But this wealth of Satan has conditions attached. So you have to be very careful or selective, because on earth we decide whom to serve. Whom have you decided to serve? Satan or God? So God in Deuteronomy chapter 8, when you read the whole of it, in fact it has very good material and very good sermon and very good content if you follow it properly. You read it properly. This time we don't just read the Bible like newspapers, but we read the Bible and digest. Then we just study. We study the Bible and digest what we have studied. When you digest, that means you have put these words on the inner or the inside of your heart. You can't forget them easily. So this is how God gives out authority so someone to become rich, though Satan also gives out riches to his people on conditions. On conditions. We have originated from families where you don't bound dinners at night, where you are not allowed to bathe naked in the cottage. You see? Yes, those are conditions given to the Gentiles. So, Deuteronomy teaches us, and God declares that don't say that it is your wisdom out of which you have reaped all this. No. It is God who has given you the authority to be rich. That is that. That's where the authority of riches comes from God. The true riches. But when we get wealth, or when we get rich, we also have to look back at our God and serve Him. That's why He commanded the ancient people or our ancestors to offer tithes or offerings. Yes, that is actually something that is a relationship between you and God. Somebody gives you something good, why don't you return a portion to him or her? Yes, that is actually socialization. So, I think you have got the origin of riches or wealth in that regard. Then, we want to look at people who got riches from God and how they utilized them and how they behaved in turn after being given these riches. We have one ancestor of ours, and this is the father of the righteous. Who is that one? None other than Abraham. Abraham was given authority to be rich. Remember, Abraham's origin. He came from his father's house when God had commanded him right away that leave your father's house and go to a distant country where I will say go. Then he went to the land of Canaan. That's where he had to dwell, away from his father's land. Yeah? So when he left Ephraim to Canaan, where God had commanded him to go, he stayed there and settled there. Then after settlement, God started acquiring wealth. In fact, he went with his nephew, Lot. They stayed together. Time came when God started dispatching wealth to them. And as they got wealth, acquired wealth, it got so big. Actually, it developed. It swelled. It's wealth which was given to them. Remember, these people were blessed by God. These Israelites, these Jews, are people who were blessed by God. Wherever they go with their blessings. So, wherever they settle, God settles with them. So that's how Abraham and his nephew Lot acquired wealth, to the extent that the land they were staying in was even small. Yes, you remember when the herdsmen quarreled between themselves. They quarreled, those of Abraham and those of Lot quarreled. Why? Their master's cows had mixed up. Then they had no way of actually separating them from the other, because the land they were staying in was too small. So Abraham saw all this with the time. Yes, it was not done once. So he was forced to call his nephew Lot, come. And when he called, when Lot came, he told him what he was thinking and said, no, I don't want us to quarrel because we are relatives. But let us see a way of how we can settle this kind of problem. So they decided, and Abraham said, let me go and stay the other side. And the Lord also said, okay, let me look at the other side of Sodom. You see, this is how they came to resolve this problem between them. So Abraham took his cows, his herdsmen, to another place where they had to dwell in Canaan, and Lot stretched his herdsmen and cows and wealth all together to the other side of Sodom. Actually, his tents were stretched to reach Sodom because he had too much wealth also. Yes, compared to his father, but actually his parent. So they separated in a good way, in a normal way, and settled down the dispute that had developed between them and earlier in their herdsmen. So, what happened? These people's wealth continued to grow. It continued to grow as as you know, blessed people. So Lot was the side of Sodom. Then Abraham was the side of Canaan. Yes, so that's how they separated. But I wanted to show you how God gives out wealth. Yes, I think you have come to understand that. That's the source of wealth. Now, how did Abraham utilize this wealth? Abraham, the Bible declares that he was so loyal to his God, right from the beginning up to when he had to offer his son Isaac as a living sacrifice. Yes, but God neglected and said, no, let it not be so.